Alright everybody, this is it, the final video covering Next Fest 2022 and my favorite games from it. And we are starting off with 9 Souls. This is, well, I guess we could call this a Securovania? Hollow Die Twice? Something along those lines. But besides having some very gorgeous aesthetics and art, our main element of 9 Souls is a focus on parrying and countering. As you fight enemies, you'll build up a charge every time you get a successful parry. That is the kind of like blue bar or blue pips underneath your health bar. Each pip will give you a stronger counter attack when you do your you place these talismans or charms on enemies and then they explode. So the dynamic of the game is that while you can certainly mash attack and dash to avoid damage, to quickly kill enemies and prove how much of a badass you are, you want to go for parrying and then doing your counter attack. The game features progression in the form of leveling up, and there is money, but we didn't get a chance to really buy anything in the demo to see if there's any equipment upgrades or things like that. In terms of difficulty, I would definitely put 9 Souls, at least from the demo, at maybe moderate to moderately hard for action game fans. If you're expecting to play this in the same way as a Hollow Knight, then this one definitely features far more combat focus, and again, far more focus on parrying. And for me, this is definitely an easy recommendation. If you are an action game fan, definitely check this one out. For our next game, we turn to Roots of Pacha, and this is, I guess, early man meets Stardew Valley. You play as a member of this tribe who has moved in order to save themselves from any kind of catastrophe or curses. And we are going to have to, well, earn our keep, doing farming, completing quests for the various villagers, getting unlocks that will improve technologies and change things going forward. Now, from the demo itself, this is definitely looking like very similar to Stardew Valley's loop. I don't know if there's going to be any kind of combat or combat subsystem in this one, but this is one of those games that it's very charming to play. My main concern was that I didn't see a lot to kind of differentiate itself from Stardew Valley in terms of the moment-to-moment gameplay. I would say that if you are a fan of the kind of slice of life, again, farming, village sim of a Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon game, then definitely check this one out. But if you're hoping to see, I think, something beyond that formula or iterating on it, I'm not sure if Roots of Pacha will be right for you. Moving on, we now have Frogun? I'm not sure how we pronounce this one. But this is a 3D platformer where our main mechanic is using our, I'm just going to say Frogun, in order to grab things from afar, and get through the myriad of obstacles and levels. Now, the big thing that I like about this game is that there is a lot in terms of bonus challenges and things for you to do. Every level has a time trial, multiple secret areas, collect all the MacGuffins, do it deathless, and even find additional things as well. And if you are somebody who may or may not like the completionists of games like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, and so on, this one may be perfect for you right then and there. The general path through the game, I would say, would be maybe on the easy to moderate side. It did have some issues with the dead zone problems on my analog stick, which added to the difficulty of playing this one. But this one just felt really nice to play, and there are elements of speed tech or speed running, especially if you want to do the time trials. And let me again just say that again, that if you are looking for a challenge, the bonus stuff in this game is definitely going to be on the advanced side, or at least on the more challenging side for 3D platforming. All in all, I would say this is a very solid one for fans of 3D platformers. I don't think it's doing anything too, beyond for the formula, but it seems like a really solid take on 3D platforming design. So with that said, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back we have 3 more games to look at for this showcase. And as always, if you're interested in my thoughts on design, then check out my design books. For entry-level students, we have 20 essential games to study, and then the Game Design Deep Dive series that takes an extensive look at different genres, with free-to-play coming in 2022. We now have Sweet Transit, and this is a city builder meets railroad tycoon style game, where you'll alternate between building towns, setting up the infrastructure, goods, and services that they need, and then building the railway system that ties everything together, move resources around, and I guess live out your dreams of being both mayor and conductor at the same time. I really like the concept for this one, but I had some major issues with the build that was on NextFest. The onboarding is certainly not the best at this time. It features a lot of dynamic UI windows, as you can see on the right hand side, but it didn't really, I think, explain what it is I was trying to do, why certain things were not working. And they do feature a locking or unlocking system where you must complete specific goals, as you can see in the upper left, in order to unlock more services and goods and so on. But it felt like I was really hamstrung to build my town, even understand what the locomotive side was, by not being able to really do too much in that respect. This is one that I would say is going to be a for the fans only affair, at least from the demo. If you love the idea of Railroad Tycoon, I think it was Sid Meier's Trains, I forget the full title of that one, and so on, I would at least check out the demo to this one. But again, with games of this kind, if the general gameplay or what you're seeing is not interesting you, then the demo and I'm sure the full release may not work for you as well. We now have what I think is the wild card game from NextFest for me, and that is Seed of Agony. While appearance of this game looks like a 2D side-scroller, the game is described as a 4X strategy RTS infinitely procedurally generated universe. Yeah, it's definitely showing that off here. But in this one, we play as a demon aboard a living spaceship that is trying to conquer a universe for evil. And to do that, we're going to go one galaxy at a time, one planet at a time, to doom them, to gather their resources, grow in power, and of course, consume everything that we see fit. So you'll get different craftable gear, you'll create new demons. There is discussion on the store page about having RTS style combat, managing civilizations, just a whole lot that's going on. However, from this demo, the UI UX is definitely having some issues. Moving around is very annoying. There's a noticeable delay between pushing a button and your character responding. You have to constantly keep adjusting the camera using the right analog stick. And the game is certainly, I think, not doing the best job at the moment of showing off all these systems. But the reason why I'm including it for our game of this video is definitely the potential. Again, we're playing a pre-release build for NextFest, so there is certainly time to improve and change things. But I would say this is one of those games that it can either turn out to be one of the more fascinating indie games we've played or not, especially with everything they describe that's going to be in their planned release. So this is definitely one that it's kind of hard to recommend now, but I'm going to be keeping an eye on it to see where it all develops over the coming months. For the last game, we have Back to the Dawn. This is an RPG where we live in a world where everyone is an animal, and apparently animals have the same issues of corrupt politicians, problematic prison systems, and so on. You'll choose a character as well as a background to start, and your job is to investigate what is going on At the same time, living day to day in the prison. That means attending the various scheduled meetings, trying to do work, interact with the different gangs, and of course, try not to get killed by the end of it. All your choices certainly matter in terms of who you talk to, what you do day to day in terms of improving your character, gathering resources, that kind of thing. And this game looks like it's going to be very involved in terms of the number of permutations that can occur over a play, and of course how all your choices are going to matter. Now, from what I played of the demo, I didn't get to see too much of, I think, more of the involved systems, but everything is going to be very much dependent on your stats in terms of success or failure at certain events, what choices you get access to, things like that. So if you are looking for another heavy, RPG style game, I would definitely check this one out. But if you're hoping for more action or more, prison break theatrics, this one may be too slow for that high octane crowd. But with that said, we're going to wrap up this final Next Fest video here. I need to take a break, I think. But do all the liking, subscribing, and commenting. Let me know what you think about these games. If you'd like me to tackle your game for a future stream or video, please get in touch. You'll find links to everything down below. And come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where it's in the art and science of games.